The day started normal. People were going to work. Kids were playing in parks. The sky was clear. Sun was warm. But at exactly 10:27 a.m., everything changed. Above every major city on Earth, the sky cracked, not like a lightning bolt. No sound, no warning, just a slow, silent rip, as if someone had torn open the air itself. People looked up, shielding their eyes from the bright white light shining from the crack. Then the ships came, huge silver vessels, floating gently through the tiers. In the sky, no engines, no noise. Just glowing, smooth surfaces that looked more like living creatures than machines. People screamed. Cars stopped in the streets. Soldiers ran toward their posts. News channels cut to live footage. Panic spread like fire. Everyone thought it was the end, but then the ships opened. Giant doors slid apart, and from inside stepped tall, elegant beings. They looked human, but not quite. Their skin shimmered like moonlight. Their hair flowed like liquid silver. Their eyes were large, glowing softly in blue, purple, and gold. And all of them were women. Not one male alien was seen. They didn't speak with mouths. Instead, a message appeared in every human mind at once, in their own language. We are the Valeri. We come in peace. We offer healing, harmony, and happiness. Let us share your world, and you will never suffer again. The message was calm, soft, almost musical. It made even the most frightened person feel a strange comfort. Some people clapped, others cried. A few fainted. The ships landed gently outside cities, not crushing a single building. Alien women stepped out and began handing out glowing orbs that gave food, medicine, and clean water. Diseases were cured in seconds. Broken machines were fixed just by touching them. Forests began growing again where deserts had been. It was a miracle. But it also raised many questions. Why were they only females? Why now? And why did they seem so interested in human men? In a small town called Ridgeway, a man named Jack Carter watched all this from his backyard. Wasn't Special just a mechanic who worked with old machines and lived alone after losing his family in a car crash? But something about the aliens pulled at him. One of them in particular, she stood at the edge of the town square. Taller than most humans, with smooth violet skin and hair that shimmered like starlight. She looked straight at Jack, even from a distance. And then she smiled. Jack blinked, unsure if it was real. That night, the town had a meeting. People were nervous. Some said it was a trick, that the aliens were hiding something. Others said it was a blessing. The mayor, a heavy man with shaky hands, looked pale. They're not attacking, he said. They're giving us everything we ever dreamed of. Free power, free food, free medicine. But we don't know what they want in return. Jack raised his hand. What if they just want to live with us? Someone laughed. Yeah, right. No one gives something for free. Later that evening, Jack heard a knock on his door. He opened it, and there she was. The same alien woman from the square. Alone, smiling softly. Your machines are beautiful, she said in perfect English. You build. That is rare. Jack stared. You speak. We adapt quickly, she replied. May I come in? He hesitated, then nodded. She stepped in, graceful and quiet. She touched an old broken radio and it turned on, playing soft music. Jack's eyes widened. How did you? Are people lost much? We want to help, but we need you. Me, not just you. You're kind. Human males have something ... powerful. Frowned. What kind of power? She looked down for a moment, then up again. Life. By the next morning, news had spread. The aliens had visited towns, helped sick children, made crops grow from dead soil. All female, all peaceful, and all said the same thing. We only ask to share, to build a better world with your men.
Ow.
Some women protested. Some governments tried to resist, but the aliens never fought. They only offered, and the men. Many were already falling in love with the gifts, the beauty, the comfort. and the alien women themselves. But Jack wasn't so sure. He looked at the night sky, now glowing with hovering alien ships. Why now? He whispered to himself. And why me? The sky had opened. The world was changing, but was it a dream, or the beginning of something much bigger and far more dangerous? Jack couldn't sleep that night, even with the soft hum of alien ships. Floating above the town and the strange peace spreading across Earth, something felt wrong. His visitor, the tall, violet-skinned alien woman, had left quietly after placing a glowing cube on his workshop table. "It's a gift," she'd whispered. "Use it wisely." When Jack finally built the courage to open it, he was stunned. Inside was a small device, smooth and silver, like a glass pebble. When he touched it, every broken machine in his shop radios, engines, even his dead drones, suddenly turned on. Sparks flew. Lights blinked. All fixed in seconds. Jack stared in disbelief. His shop had been full of junk for years. Now everything worked. But it wasn't just him. All over the world, the alien women were handing out similar gifts. Some healed illness. Some made crops grow 3 times faster. Some gave cities free electricity. People who were dying one day were running the next. Blind men saw again. Lost limbs grew back. One man's dog came back to life after lying cold. For 2 hours, it was like magic, but more dangerous, because now, people were depending on the aliens. In Ridgeway, men started acting differently. The same guys who once worked hard were now resting more, smiling more, almost too relaxed. Why wouldn't they be? Aliens were building dream houses overnight, made from strange materials that never broke, never aged. One man received a personal ship to travel across the globe. Another got a device that translated every language, even animal sounds. But the biggest shock came during the second night. A public broadcast appeared, not on screens, but inside every man's mind. "You have shown kindness. In return, we offer bonding, companionship. Choose freely. We will not force." Across cities, towns, and even remote villages, alien women began pairing themselves with human males. Not as slaves, not as soldiers, but as partners, if chosen. Some men were assigned 1 companion, others 2 or 3. No human woman received the offer. Jack walked into the town market the next morning and froze. The once busy area had changed overnight. Vendors smiled too much. Men walked hand in hand with tall alien partners, laughing, whispering things. A single man, old and gray, was dancing with 2 alien women who laughed like children in spring. Jack shook his head. What is this place turning into? He turned Dand, nearly bumped into Alara, the violet-skinned alien who had visited his house. "You have not chosen?" she said softly. "I didn't know I had to," Jack replied, stepping back. "You don't. But you were offered first." Jack crossed his arms. "Why me?" She looked down, then stepped closer. "Because you are kind, quiet, strong of mind. And you fixed something once others threw away? My machines?" "No," she whispered. "Yourself." Jack was speechless. Later that night, Jack sat alone in his shop, watching the world go mad with happiness. News channels showed men being praised as gods. Alien women kissed their partners in public, gifted them pets from other galaxies, taught them alien songs that healed pain. But no one was asking, why now? Why only men? Why were all the aliens female? Jack remembered something Alara had said. "You were strong of mind." That wasn't a compliment. That was a warning. He walked back to the silver device. She left the one that fixed all his machines. He took a hammer and smashed it. The light flickered, then went out. The machine stopped. Everything went silent. Just like that, the magic was gone. A moment later, he heard footsteps. Alara stood in the doorway, her glowing eyes filled with surprise. And something else. Sadness. Double quotes. "You destroyed it," she said quietly. "I wanted to see what happens," Jack replied. A long silence passed. Then she stepped forward and touched his hand. "You're the only one who did that," she whispered. "Most just want more." Jack looked into her eyes. "What do you really want from us?" She hesitated, then finally answered, "Survival." The world was laughing. Jack was not. On the surface, Earth looked like heaven. No wars, no hunger, no pain. Everyone had shelter, food, and a beautiful alien woman at their side. But Jack had broken the gift. And something about the silence afterward had chilled him to his bones. Since that night, Alara had disappeared. She didn't visit again. No glowing eyes, no whispers, nothing. Instead, Jack received an official invitation. Not on paper, but inside his mind. Jack Carter. You are summoned to Sanctum Prime. Come alone. You are trusted. No directions. The next morning, a smooth black vehicle was parked outside his house. No wheels, no driver. Just a seat and a screen flashing softly. Destination beneath. Jack stepped inside. The doors closed silently and the vehicle began to sink. Not forward, not upward, downward. Deep into the earth, the walls became darker. The air cooler. No noise. No lights outside. Just a tunnel made of something not found on earth-living metal. Breathing softly like a sleeping beast, after what felt like an hour. The pod stopped. The door opened into a glowing chamber. He stepped out and froze. In front of him was a massive underground city, floating bridges, silver towers, lights that danced through the air like stars. Alien women moved around like ghost scum, beautiful, motionless. But the center of the city wasn't a building, it was a massive vault. Above it were the words in glowing alien text, the mourned ones. Jack's breath caught. Was this place? A soft voice called behind him. Leah, she had returned. You weren't supposed to see this, she said. Then why bring me here? Jack asked. Because you're not like the others. You question, you resist. You don't surrender easily. Jack stepped closer to the vault. What's inside? Lara's smile faded. Our past, she whispered, and our mistake. She waved her hand. The vault doors began to open slow. Heavy, glowing red dot inside were rows and rows of cryopods. Each one contained a being, not a woman, but a male. Alien males. Jack stepped forward. The bodies were thin, lifeless, skin pale, eyes shut forever. They're dead, he said. Alara nodded. Long ago we had males too, but something happened. A disease, one that attacked them through. At intimacy, it wiped out every male. Across our galaxy, slowly, painfully. Jack turned to her, confused. Why tell me this? Because we've tried to recreate them, clone them, repair them, but they never come back whole. Their minds are lost, their souls gone. Jack stared at the cold, unmoving pods. And now you're here, Alara whispered. Humans. Your biology is resistant to the disease. Your minds are balanced. You're not just partners, you're keys. Jack's heart sank. So that's why you're here. She looked at him with sadness. Yes, Earth is not a paradise. It's a lab, a final hope. Jack backed away. All those gifts. Food, healing, homes. It was all just to gain trust. No, Alara said quickly. We wanted to help. We are not monsters. We are desperate. And the pairing. With men, necessary. Some emotional, some physical. Some for testing. We didn't lie, but we didn't say everything. Jack felt dizzy. All this time, he thought he was saving machines. He realized they had been saving him for something bigger. He turned to leave. But then Alara touched his arm. There's more. She led him down a lower path beneath the vault there. In a sealed chamber floated a single glowing egg-like pod. Unlike the rest, this one pulsed with light. Inside was a developing alien child, male, alive, beating heart. Jack stared. Is that? Yes, Alara whispered. Our last male embryo. The only one that lived longer than 10 months. But it still needs one final thing. What? She looked at him. You? Jack froze. You mean me? What? I'm so present. More than that, Alara replied. Your will, your empathy, your spark. Jack laughed nervously. You want me to be a what? A father to a species? Alara didn't smile. Yes. Silence filled the room. The glowing pod pulsed in rhythm with Jack's heartbeat. He looked at the child floating inside. It looked so small. So innocent. Was this really the future of an entire civilization? And was he ready to carry that weight? Jack didn't sleep that night. Not because he wasn't tired, but because his dreams now looked back at him. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw the glowing pod, the unborn alien male floating in blue light, like a silent question. One child. One chance. And somehow, he was the key. The next morning, Jack found himself standing inside a white, circular chamber. He hadn't walked there. He had simply awakened inside it, fully dressed, with warm lights shining down and calming music. Humming in the air, there were no walls, just endless white curves and soft voices whispering in a language. He didn't know until she appeared, not Alara, but someone else. She was taller, her presence heavier. Her skin shimmered gold like a sunrise. Her eyes were brighter, colder. She introduced herself in a voice that rang in his bones. I am Selene, first matriarch of the Valeri Directive. You've been chosen for final evaluation. Jack frowned. Evaluation. She smiled softly. Before we give our future to you, must know what you desire most. Before Jack could respond, the floor beneath him shifted. Not shaking, but changing. It melted and reshaped into something new. A room, but not just any room. It was his childhood home, exactly how he remembered it. The creaky floor, the smell of motor oil, the old clock that never worked. How do you know this place? Jack whispered. Desire lives in memory, Selene replied. Then the door opened, and Alara stepped in, but not like before. She was different now. Dressed in soft, earth-toned clothes, smiling like a memory, moving like a dream. Her glow was gentle, her steps hesitant. Jack's heart thudded. Alara, she nodded. This is my true form. Not a projection, not a test, just me. He wanted to reach out, but stopped himself. What is this? Another game? No, she said gently. This is your choice. Selene's voice echoed again, unseen but present. We can give you a world where you are never alone. It's a world where you are needed, loved, praised. Where women like Alara will honor you not just for what you give, but for who you are. Looked into Alara's eyes. There was longing there. Real, not forced. He turned away. You want me to agree to father a child? One child that may not even survive. One future that could doom my species if it goes wrong. Selene answered coldly. The earth will still be yours, but our people will live too. We offer peace in exchange for connection. Alara stepped closer. We're not asking you to give up your freedom, Jack. We're asking you to become part of something bigger, something that will live beyond time. He looked at her. She looked tired, vulnerable, not like a powerful alien, but like a woman who had carried the weight of extinction on her shoulders for centuries. What if I say no? Jack asked. Selene's voice dropped low. Then you return to your world, alone. No more visits, no more gifts, no more Alara. Earth will survive, but we will not, and you will always wonder. The room faded. Suddenly, Jack stood in the middle of his town again, but it wasn't the same. People looked empty. The alien women were still there, but colder, more distant. They walked beside men but didn't speak. The paradise had begun to fade. The plants were drying. Skies above were dimmer. It was as if Earth itself could feel his hesitation. Then Alara appeared again, this time without glow, without power, just a tired soul. Standing in the rain, she walked to him, gently placed something in his hand, a bindstone. He'd heard of it in whispers, an ancient Valeri relic, used only for sacred promises. Once accepted, it would link two souls forever. Jack stared at it. "Don't want to be used," he whispered. "You're not," Alara replied softly. "I want you to choose me, not as a duty, but as a partner." He looked at the stone, he looked at the sky, and for the first time, it didn't feel like a man lost in someone else's world. He felt like this world was waiting for him to make it real. The moment Jack touched the bindstone, everything around him stopped. Time froze. Wind stopped blowing. Rain paused midair. Sound disappeared. Even his heartbeat went quiet. Then light exploded from the stone, wrapping around his hand, his arm, his chest until it reached his heart and sank inside. Alara gasped. The stone had accepted him. That had never happened before. Suddenly, they weren't on Earth anymore. They stood in a glowing white space, surrounded by swirling symbols and memories, hers and his spinning like stars around them. He saw her pain. The war, the extinction, the desperate experiments. And she saw his loneliness, his broken past, his anger, his strength. The bond had begun. This wasn't marriage. This wasn't romance. This was something deeper than DNA. This was soul fusion. When Jack opened his eyes, they were back in the real world, but Alara's knees gave out. She collapsed. Trembling, holding her chest, Jack rushed forward. "What's happening?" She looked up, eyes glowing blue and gold, flickering. The connection. "It's real. It worked, Jack. I feel you inside me." He stepped back, shocked. "Will this hurt you?" "No," she whispered, smiling through tears. "It's saving me." The next hour was chaos. Selene appeared, furious. "You were not authorized to accept the bindstone." Jack stood his ground. She offered, "I chose. Isn't that what your directive wants?" Selene stared at him with unreadable eyes. "Then understand what you've done. This bond is not temporary. From now on, if one of you dies, the other dies too." Jack's breath caught. Alara looked at him. She didn't flinch. "I knew that," she said quietly. "I still gave it." They were taken into a chamber. Deeper than before, inside were 7 Valeri elders, massive beings, who floated more than walked, their forms almost ghostly. They didn't speak in words. They echoed in Jack's mind. "Human, you carry the seed now. The living spark. You are the first and only bonded. But beware. The other side of your kind watches you now." Jack frowned. "Other side." Alara turned to him slowly. "There's something we didn't tell you. Far above Earth, inside Earth's own orbit, something stirred, hidden behind the dark side of the moon. A secret human project known as Fort Titan had been monitoring alien activity since the first ship landed 5 years ago. Their leader, Commander Reeves, sat in front of a hologram of Jack. "He bonded," the officer whispered. "He took the alien stone." Reeves didn't blink. "That fool just gave them access to our genetic core." Back on Earth, Jack walked outside the alien city with Alara. He felt different now. He could sense her thoughts. Not read them, but feel them. Her fear, her warmth, her hunger, her hope. He touched a tree nearby, and it bloomed. He stepped near broken ground, and it began to heal. The bond wasn't just emotional, it was activating something inside him. New version of humanity. Then the sky cracked. This time, not the aliens, but humans. A fleet of warships entered Earth's upper orbit. The warning came quickly. "To all alien vessels, Earth's sovereignty is threatened. Cease further influence, or we fire." Jack looked up, heart sinking. Alara's eyes widened. "They're going to destroy everything. Even me." Jack clenched his fists. "I won't let that happen." Suddenly an alien child ran toward them, half human, half Valeri. She looked at Jack with wide, innocent eyes. "Are you really the one who bonded?" Jack nodded. She took his hand. "Then maybe we're finally safe." But a sound ripped through the air. A single missile, launched from above. Target, Lara. Jack jumped. His body moved without thinking. He covered her with his own. Impact, blinding light, then darkness. That's all Jack knew. There was no sky, no ground, no pain, just floating. He couldn't feel his body. He couldn't hear Alira. Couldn't even remember if he was alive until it. Soft heartbeat, not his. Smaller, fragile but steady. Thump thump, thump thump. Then a voice, not in his ear. In his mind, you are the chosen core, the final spark. The father of balance. Return. Jack gasped. His eyes flew open. He wasn't in the alien city anymore. He wasn't on Earth. He was inside a massive crystal chamber, floating in golden light. Strange symbols glowed across the walls, and in front of him, a pod, larger than before, brighter, beating with a living pulse. Inside floated the last male Valeri embryon, now fully formed. Tiny hands. Sleeping peacefully, and above the pod stood 3 alien elders. Their forms barely solid like light and smoke. One of them turned. Your sacrifice protected the bond. You absorbed the weapon's energy and survived. Jack groaned, feeling pain finally returned to his chest. Alara? Where is she? We saved her, but she is weak. Fading, he tried to stand. Take me to her. They led him down a long corridor of living crystal. Along the way, Jack noticed something strangely in children running freely. Some looked human, some didn't, but all of them smiled at him. A little girl with silver eyes whispered to her friend, "That's him, the human who carries light." Jack didn't understand, but he kept walking. He reached Alara's chamber. She lay on a soft platform, glowing faintly. Her skin had lost its shimmer. Her breathing was shallow. She opened her eyes slowly and smiled. Weakly, "You're still here." Jack sat beside her, grabbing her hand. "You're not leaving me." She blinked slowly. "Our bond took the full force of that blast. I'm holding on, but barely." Jack looked at the alien doctors nearby. "Can't you help her?" They looked down. "It's the only source strong enough to restore her now is the egg." Jack froze. "What do you mean?" One of the elders stepped forward. "The egg is ready to hatch. The life inside is strong, but it needs a final spark from its parent." Jack shook his head. "You said I was the parent?" "Yes, but to give life, you must give your bond." His eyes widened. "You mean Alara lives? Or the child lives?" They nodded. "You cannot keep both. The energy can only pass once." Jack looked between the glowing pod and Alara's fading face. This was never about romance, or gifts, or glory. This was about choosing the future, and the future needed life. But his heart couldn't choose death. Not for her, not for their bond. He stood up, trembling, and for the first time he spoke without fear. "I'll do it, but my way." The elders looked surprised. Jack walked to the egg. He placed both hands on the surface. The pod pulsed with heat, light, and power. But Jack didn't send his bond alone. He split it, half to the child, half to Alara. And in that moment, something impossible happened. The pod glowed white-hot. Alara gasped and sat up, breath rushing back. The chamber shook. The child inside opened his eyes, bright gold, and smiled. Jack fell to his knees, weak, shaking. Alara ran to him, caught him before he fell. "Jack, you did it," he smiled faintly. "Told you I'd find a way." The elders stared, stunned. "You broke the rule of the bindstone. You split your soul and lived. No human or Valeri has done that before." Jack coughed. "Maybe I'm both now." The room shifted again, not with danger, but with hope. For the first time in centuries, the Valeri had a male child, and for the first time ever, it had human blood. The future wasn't just safe, it was new. But far above, the humans weren't. Celebrating, Commander Reeves stared at the data feed. Hybrid male confirmed, his officer said. Reeves narrowed his eyes. Then Earth is no longer alone. Prepare the failsafe. The sun rose slowly over the Earth, but it wasn't the same. It's a planet anymore. It was quieter, cleaner. Stranger alien plants now grew along rivers. Floating orbs replaced traffic lights. Cities glowed with soft Valeri light. And at the center of it all stood Jack Carter, changed, feared, worshipped. The child, the first living male Valeri in centuries, was healthy, glowing with golden skin and human-shaped eyes. Alara held him close like a mother, even though Jack was the one who had given the spark. He's already learning faster than we expected, Alara whispered. He speaks both our tongues. Dreams and symbols we can't decode. Jack smiled, gently brushing the child's tiny head, but the smile didn't last, because in the sky above, warships hovered. Fort Titan, Earth's secret military base, had launched full surveillance. Commander Reeves now watched Jack from orbit with cold eyes. He bonded with one of them. Now he's fathered to a hybrid, a powerful one. An officer stepped forward. Shall we activate protocol erasure? Reeves nodded. One wrong move, and we turn Eden into ash. Down below, Jack was taken to the new High Council of Unity. Half Valeri, half human scientists, diplomats, and thinkers. They stood around a glowing table with a hologram of Earth slowly shifting. A Valeri priestess spoke first. This planet is stable. Disease is gone. Energy endless. Population balanced. A human scientist added. But tensions are growing. Many Earth nations demand answers. They fear we've been replaced. Jack nodded slowly. They fear what they don't understand. Later that night, Jack stood at the edge of the garden, where alien children played beside human ones. Laughter filled the air. A hybrid boy ran toward him, calling him father in both languages. But Jack couldn't smile. He knew something was coming, and it came. Fast. A beam of red light shot down from the sky, targeting the child. Screams echoed. Jack reacted in a flash. He reached out, barehanded, and the beam hit him instead. But instead of burning, it stopped midair. The bond inside Jack activated. A golden shield wrapped around him, Alara and the child, and then he sent the energy back. A pulse flew upward, striking the warship. It didn't explode, but it went completely dark. In Fort Titan, alarms blared. Sir, he redirected our weapon using no tech, just himself. Commander Reeves clenched his fists. He's a threat. No, sir. It's a bridge. Next day, Earth united, for the first time in history. All human nations sent a message not to fight, but to talk, and they wanted only one man too. Speak for both sides. Jack Carter, in front of a global audience, human and alien. Jack stood tall. No weapons. No armor, just a child in his arms, and a bond glowing faintly on his chest. He spoke slowly. I was just a mechanic once. I fixed broken things, but now I know what's most broken is trust. He looked at the camera. You're afraid? I understand. I was too, but these beings didn't come to rule. They came to survive, and now they've made us better. We're not losing Earth. We're making it something greater. He paused, then placed the hybrid child in front of the world. This is not the end of humanity. This is what comes after. Silence, then cheers, from humans. From Valeri, even the warships pulled back. Commander Reeves, watching from orbit, turned to his crew. Maybe the age of war is over. Lyra walked beside Jack, wrapping her arm around his. What now? Asked Jack, smiled. Now we build something they'll never fear again. She looked at the child, smiling, floating slightly above the ground, playing with energy like water. And she asked. Jack replied with peace in his voice. He builds the stars.